What's up, guys? This is Sheena coming at you with another episode, and I just really want to hop right into this as to not waste much of your time, but also providing value for you. So, today I want to speak about new construction and to upgrade or not to upgrade. That is the question. Now, a lot of my clients do consider new construction. A lot of them are considering resale as well, and there's advantages to both depending on where you are in life. I certainly am pro new construction because I came from that world. I sat on site for quite some time, and again, I really like new construction. It's not always an option for people, but it is an option. So let's talk about if you are deciding to go that route and you are doing what they call a build job or to be built, what you should be considering as far as upgrades. Now, I worked for a production builder, so we really were not custom or even semi-custom. So you could not come into our plans and remove a wall, all these great things that you see on HGTV. We had plans within our plans that could be modified and changed, but they were already pre-approved things that we would, grant the customer to choose depending on their lifestyle. So from what I've seen, and I'm not an appraiser, but I just want to give you my expertise for somebody that lived it and breathed it every day. You really want to be adding things that usually add square footage. So if you want to, finish the basement off, this is a good addition. Why? Because it adds heated square footage, more space, more square footage. Now, this is a very expensive endeavor, but as far as adding that now, and some people do wait to do that later because adding or finishing the basement is quite expensive, as you would imagine. And sometimes, people have contractors that they like, that they know and trust, and you could probably do it for cheaper outside of the builder, to be honest, as with many things. But it's just sometimes a convenience factor and getting the work done. It's permitted properly. They're gonna follow building codes. Obviously, if you hire somebody, you want to hire somebody that's licensed and everything as well. But it's really just a convenience factor, but it is something that is considered a worthy upgrade. And also, adding another bathroom. So if you think about whenever you're moving into your home, even if it's just you by yourself or you and a partner, whatever, if you guys don't have kids yet, you may say, well, what's the need of adding this bathroom in this plan? However, when you go to resell it later, depending on where the home falls, if it's for a first-time buyer, a move-up buyer, having that extra bathroom and potentially being able to sell to a family that has, multiple kids and can shave down some time for them in the morning for school, if it's in the budget, it's a good ad. I always tell people, and I'm being a little facetious, but you never can have too many bathrooms. I love when I go in a home and pretty much every bedroom has a bathroom. Again, not totally necessary, but in terms of upgrades and what should be done, bathrooms will definitely have a good return value on average in general. Okay. Also, adding a bedroom, obviously for reasons of just having more space, more bodies. Sometimes in a plan it will have an office option or a bedroom option. And depending on your lifestyle, you want to kind of be mindful of what you're choosing. Again, whenever you're able to house more people, it's a benefit because some people benefit from having an extra bedroom on the main level because they might have multi-generational living. So that's another space where whenever they have family or friends come over from another country or another state that might be staying for a few months to help with childcare or whatever, just to visit, having an extra space for a bedroom is needed. Now, also, an office is a great addition. And usually with an office compared to a bedroom, it really just removes the closet sometimes, typically, depending on the builder, but it usually will change the layout. So you're going to have a traditional door with a bedroom. Usually with an office, you're going to have French doors. So it just changes the look slightly and the functionality, obviously. But again, an office could be appealing to somebody that wants a room for a podcast, or for somebody who literally works from home and needs a dedicated space toward that. So things like that, adding an office, adding a bedroom instead of just having like an open loft area or a den, things like this actually matter. Now, flooring, again, I'm not an appraiser, so I cannot tell you the exacts, and this is going to differ from market to market. But you know, some people do elect to change some of the flooring. If you go builder grade, depending on the product and the whether it's considered entry level or move up, they may have more carpet or less carpet. And sometimes these are things that you can actually save money on later. Again, it could be a convenience factor of getting it done now and then being able to move in and sort of having it turnkey ready. But honestly, things like this, fencing, flooring, even appliances sometimes can be done after closing. And again, sometimes, many times, you're probably going to find that you're going to get a better deal doing it after the fact. Now, there is a caveat to this. Obviously, if you do it within the builder, it's going to be financed. So it will go toward your purchase price, which you'll pay your mortgage on. However, if you're doing the fencing, the flooring, the appliances afterward, obviously this is going to be out of pocket, either doing it via a credit card or just spending, you know, your money to get it accomplished. So it really depends on buyer budget, but some stuff becomes excessive and you don't want to add too many things in your home that won't give you a return from an appraisal standpoint. But generally speaking, again, always check with your agent in your market for confirmation. But generally speaking, these things will make the value, will, you know, add validity to it. I'll just say that. But when you start doing a lot of design options, you have to be careful. You know, for instance, I love white cabinets and backsplash, and getting your kitchen where you want it to be. This is another smart upgrade as far as what color scheme to choose. But some stuff you possibly can wait on. I mean, backsplash is one of those things that you can potentially wait on. You have to make sure, as with all things, that whoever is installing it is doing a good job, because it can sort of look janky and, you know, not up to par visually. So again, if you know people and you're able to get some of these things that could be considered excessive done afterward, what's a good example? So for instance, lighting. You know, the builders have their lighting options, but I'm a lighting girl, okay? So there might be some pretty options that they have, but you may want to go to a custom place after the fact and really get a chandelier that you really like that will help enhance the entry or become a focal point in this room. And they just may not have options to that degree, depending on the offering of the builder. And sometimes they do. I mean, I've seen some really cool lighting packages, but it just really boils down to the individual. So I wanted to keep this quick, relatively under 10 minutes, so that it's digestible. I hope this helps. Again, new construction is always a great option. I'm going to do several videos on some more topics, just because, again, this was my thing that I did for the majority of my real estate career. But we'll also talk about resales, because I sell this now. Listen, if you're in the Metro Atlanta area and you're looking for an agent, well, listen, the search just stopped. You can click the link on my homepage, or just reach out here, and I'll be happy to send you some information. I'm so grateful for you stopping by this channel, and I hope to work with you soon. And whatever you do, get real estate with Sheena. Talk soon.